I think I should first start out this by saying everything is pretty bad. Obviously, everything doesn't look good. There is uncertainty in the market, maybe more uncertainty than there ever has been before, especially now considering where crypto was and where it is now. Currently, Bitcoin is sitting at 22,165, give or take. It's been bouncing around. Some people have been saying that we might get a bounce up, but it's going down right now. And we are seeing critical levels of support that have been broken, and it could go down a little bit further. How far down could it go? My guess is roughly between the 15.5 range. That's probably where I would say Bitcoin will level off and find a new ground, hopefully. Now, if it goes the other way, it goes down to $10,000, we could be in a very serious situation within cryptocurrency. Now, one of the biggest things to keep an eye on right now is Celsius. Now, you guys know when I was making videos, I was promoting the hell out of Celsius. I still think that they're an honest company. They're a good company for the most part. But this situation has really shown me and probably shown a lot of other people and reinforced the point, not your keys, not your crypto, and truly your assets aren't safe. Now, in a hypothetical situation that actually is now plausible, unfortunately, if Celsius were to, say, go bankrupt, would I lose my crypto? The honest answer is probably. And the honest answer for me is probably I'm going to lose some crypto if Celsius does go bankrupt. At this point, we know that they're at least trying not to be bankrupt, but what could happen from Celsius? Either way, sure, it'll affect me as a hodler and it'll affect you if you're a Celsian, but ultimately it'll affect the cryptocurrency market in general, enhancing the drive for regulations on crypto and potentially really harming the free market aspect of cryptocurrency. Obviously, regulations is not what everyone wants to see. And in some ways, regulations are important and regulations should be in place. We saw a lot of things happening during cryptocurrency and during the hype of cryptocurrency. The one thing that I haven't heard enough people talk about is when the time is to accumulate Bitcoin and when the time is to accumulate cryptocurrency. Of course, if Celsius goes under, like I said, I'm going to lose some crypto. But at this point, it's not really the time to focus on your losses, more time to focus on where crypto is going to go in the macro scale of things. If you see cryptocurrency going down to zero at this point, get out of the market. Flat out, that's what I'm going to tell you. Ultimately, I haven't left the market. I'm not going to leave the market. There's no reason for me to leave the market. Ultimately, I know where this investment's going to go in the long term, and I'm still here for the technology. I truly believe that cryptocurrency is going to transform our financial world and how we interact with dollar value and money. Now, that being said, looking at the micro, looking at what's happening today, it's very, very tense and very, very scary. Let's talk about the MakerDAO portion for Celsius. So Celsius currently has a bunch of Bitcoin locked up in the MakerDAO. They have reduced the liquidation price down to 15,152. I think this is good. It's a good step in the right direction. It buys us some more time, but obviously cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is still very close to these dangerous levels. And I just said that we can get down to 15,500. And the reason why I'm saying 15,500 is because of this last dip that we had on the 200-week moving average that we had during the COVID crisis. So we had the COVID announcement and stock markets and everything else capitulated, and we dropped roughly 29% from the 200-week moving average. We are likely going to see a similar event here. The reason why I say very likely, because I would say there's way more market uncertainty and way more destabilization in the market even now than COVID days. I don't think COVID is a big deal. I think what's happening with oil prices, what's happening in the geopolitical economics of the world is what's instituting a lot of this fear. A good portion of the fear is around cryptocurrency and what Bitcoin and Celsius is doing. But there are a couple of things that make me really wonder about what's happening. In terms of the Cell token specifically, we saw this massive jump earlier today. This really sparked my attention, this massive wick. And this wick basically happened over the course of 2 hours. If we go down to the hourly chart, and you can kind of see what happened here, even just the hourly. So we see that massive jump, well, the 2 hours. So we had this massive jump, and then we jumped all the way up, almost wicking to $2.60. A pretty insane move for the Cell token, considering where it was. Now, it is now above its 200 moving average for the hourly chart. And it's I guess, trying to find some support. But this, to me, screams manipulation in some regard, whether it be a squeeze on Cell Token or just a squeeze on the crypto market in general. I think there's a lot of smart money trying to orchestrate the collapsing of a lot of crypto institutions. Now, that being said, we are in the wake of the crisis with Luna and Terra Luna and the USDT token and all of that collapse. I would fundamentally equate that to the Lehman Brothers collapse of 2008. And I would say that we're probably looking at a very similar crisis and heading into something that could rival a lot of previous crashes that we've seen in the world, really. You know, I truly believe that we're looking at a sequel to the Great Depression, if not even worse. But at this point, I do see a lot of destabilization in traditional and crypto markets. What does that tell you? And let me just wrap this all up, and then I'll talk about where the channel is. What does this tell you about cryptocurrency, and how am I going to navigate in the future? What am I going to do? I'm going to put a much bigger emphasis on not your keys, not your crypto. I still find the value of having some of your crypto earning a yield, as long as the projectors are relatively safe. But again, this should shine a light that nothing is always safe, right? There's always some inherent risk, even if something seems pretty solid, like Celsius probably did to a lot of us. Now, I am talking a lot as if Celsius is already insolvent. Fact of the matter is they are not insolvent right now. They're currently not bankrupt. If I was a betting man, I don't know where my money would lie. I think it's a real big coin flip right now, and it's all a matter of whether or not Celsius can maintain the funds and then honor those withdrawals. Because as soon as the pause, or whatever you want to call it, as soon as that's lifted from Celsius, there's going to be a lot of users that are going to take their funds from Celsius, and that event could potentially collapse Celsius as well. So Celsius is dealing with a lot of things right now. Whether or not they can make it out, I don't know. Now, whether or not the Celsius wallet people like myself are going to be made whole in this whole event, I'm still very unsure. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where this is going to land, and it could very well result in people losing a lot of their cryptocurrency, me included. That being said, like I said, I am going to operate in the future a little bit more cautious of how much I put on lending platforms compared to just cold storage and proper exchanges. Now, I don't mean to throw shade on Celsius. As you guys know, I'm really big in the company. I had Alex Mashinsky on this channel when I was making videos. So there was a lot of push around Celsius, and I still agree with it in a general business model. But I think at the end of the day, it really just highlights that we have to maintain ownership of our keys when we can, and have a majority of our profile that we can risk kind of earning a yield in lending platforms. What does this say for the rest of cryptocurrency? How's cryptocurrency going to operate? There's a lot of FUD going around, and I get that. I've had discussions with some of my real life friends talking about cryptocurrency and talking about the issues that they see with cryptocurrency. But in my opinion, at this point, cryptocurrency is still a transformative technology. There's just a lot of manipulation happening within the market that really causes dips like this. Now, at the end of the day, I'm looking at accumulating. I am looking at building a position, especially now that I'm losing some Bitcoin, some XRP that was on Celsius. So I'm already mentally preparing for that loss if it happens. And I'm looking to reestablish those positions over the next coming months in a bear market, which is more or less what we seem to be in. We've already gotten a definitive confirmation that we are actively in a bear market now. So ultimately, I guess we'll see where the penny lands on this one. I'm hoping that we don't see a $10,000 Bitcoin. Is it completely out of the question? I don't think it is. That being said, I think our bottom will be around 15,500. Of course, everything's really scary. I think the one thing that I want to echo, especially in this video, is more so that you need to take care of yourself and be ready to fight and live another day. It's very, very important that you don't go the route of a lot of other people that have traditionally done something very rash in the height of a financial crisis. And that's probably more what I'm worried about, because at the end of the day, you can always invest and build your portfolio again. But if you are over leveraged and you've lost your positions and you've been liquidated, or you lose a bulk of your money if Celsius goes under, whatever the case may be, there's always a way out, and there's always a way that tomorrow can be better. So I really want to emphasize that, to not do anything stupid. Look at this as a long-term, what are we going to see in the next 5 to 10 years? And is this something truly that you want to exit the market? If this is a market that you can't deal with, I would encourage you to exit it. That being said, traditional markets are down as well. So again, I'll echo the same advice to traditional market people: is don't do anything rash during bad economic times. The world is very destable right now. There's a lot of issues happening within the world. So it's to be expected that we have some weird market fluctuations, especially how shaky the world economy is. I guess that's it. I'm going to talk briefly about where I've been really quick. So if you don't care, you can click off. Ultimately, just working on myself, working on mental health and things like that. I haven't liquidated any positions. I haven't gotten out of crypto. I just couldn't take the daily uploads for YouTube. It really burnt me out. And then job stress was getting on top of it. And there was just a lot. I've moved like 3 times in the last couple of months. It's been a very hectic year in my life. I'm glad that everything's now starting to settle. I'm starting to get back into the rhythm of things, get back into the gym, get back into like actually taking care of myself, which has been a big deal. So I'm going to continue working on myself. In terms of making videos, I don't know if I'm going to be making crypto videos. I don't know if you'll see another one from me. I don't know if you'll see weekly videos. I have no idea. At this point, I think I will take everything day by day, see where everything goes. But I did want to put this out there that ultimately, I know that the market's crashing and I know that everything looks bad, but it can always get better no matter what position you're in. So take those words to heart, please. Please take care of yourself through all of this. And I just reinforce and stress that there's always going to be better times around the corner, especially when it comes to cryptocurrency. That's it for me, everyone. I guess hopefully you hear from me soon. If not, take it easy.